Good morning to you. It's 8:19 here, Fridays. At this half hour of the show, we got two great guests back-to-back, Dr. Alex Apostle and now Dan Griffey, 35th District Representative. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am well on a Friday, and saw you.
And the rally cars are coming to town. Travis Pastrana's here. Yeah. Man, we're getting to be on the map.
Well,
man.
I mean, this is one of 6 big races this weekend, and they say that this is the roads here and the off-roads here are the best in the country.
Yeah.
And we all knew that.
Well, absolutely. It's just about time somebody else finds out.
That's exactly right. Saw some photos of you up at the Capitol yesterday. Another bill that you work very hard on, signed into law. Does he just sign laws on Thursdays? Is that how that works?
For me, it seems to be that way. Although we got one coming up on the 16th that I'm really proud of, which is a senior center tax exemption.
Oh, that went through, huh?
It did. The governor will be signing into law on the 16th. We just got an alert, which is the longest alert. We usually get the alert at midnight, and then I have to, my assistant will text me, hey, by the way, you need to get your suit on and get here by 10:45. I'm like, well, thanks, Gov. You got me got me a little notice. But yeah.
At least you live close.
Yeah, it's a lot better than Eastern Washington folks. They got to drive 6 hours to get their bill signing. I've stood in for a couple representatives on their bill signings because they're like, it's 6 hours, man. Could you go get my pen?
I'd love to be here, but I just can't. Well, what were you up there yesterday for?
Well, we had, that wasn't yesterday, day before, but it was the FD CARES Act. Okay. We talked about that a couple times during the regular session. Well, what that does is it comes up with a funding mechanism for community paramedicine. So basically, those people that are kind of at risk for falls or having medication, they're having a problem taking their medication, regulating their blood sugar, that kind of thing. Maybe there's another way to do it than calling 911 and hopping in the ambulance. Maybe we can get them to definitive care at the hospital. Maybe we can help them get a doctor's appointment. Maybe we can just take their concerns away by saying, hey, your vitals and everything show that maybe you don't need to go to the emergency room. Maybe we just can get a doctor's appointment with your regular doctor. It's going to be a work in progress. I think it's going to save the state a lot of money because I think we're going to reduce considerably the number of emergency room visits. I hope it does it, but I think it's going to take us about a year to get the rules written and start getting implementation. I think Mason County is ready to go. I've been talking to our medical program director, our local fire chiefs. They really want this. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's a really good bill.
Well, good. Well, congratulations. I know it's a tough process to get things signed into law. A lot of stuff falls to the wayside, but you have definitely come through on this session with quite a good number of bills.
I did pretty well. I'm pretty happy about it. Another bill that I'm very proud of was I talked to you about Casey Kasem's daughter. The tragic death of Casey Kasem due to elder isolation abuse. Mm-hmm. This another bill that I worked on, and it's the second year that I was number 2 sponsor on. I was happy to go to that bill signing because it was passed into law, and it took us, as a lot of pieces of legislation do, took us about 3 years to get it done. But the best legislation, I think, simmers a little bit on the back burner to really get it right, and I think we got this one right. Basically, what it does is it gives family members and close friends, that can be proved, some standing in court to say, hey, we need to go in and take another look at this. We believe that this elder is being isolated and abused by that. And what that abuse really looks like is, one, they get neglected and don't get the medical care that they need. In Casey Kasem's case, he developed these ulcers from not getting clean enough.
Oh, sure.
And he wasn't on the padded beds and the air beds, that kind of thing. And that's what eventually killed him. The other thing is financial abuse. So if you isolate from the rest of the family can't see that you're stealing them blind, right? And so those are the two things. It doesn't happen a huge amount, but alarmingly too many times does it happen in Washington State. Those are very two proud moments that I have, and the tax exemption for the senior centers. That's really going to help 2 senior centers, the North Mason and Shelton senior centers. Good. And they'll be able to leverage that money better in the state.
Are you hearing anything on the special session, the negotiators getting anywhere?
Well, I think we're getting somewhere on framework, and that's a good sign. So we're understanding, as I told you before, I think we're going to do some sort of local levy cap and shift, which all of our districts will see a reduction in property taxes. Some areas, Mercer Island, that kind of thing, will see we'll see an increase because they're paying like 50 cents a thousand, where we're paying like $3.50 a thousand. So it'll level the playing field. It will more accurately reflect the fact that if it's paramount duty and every child needs to be treated equally, that everyone bears the same burden. So I think we're getting to that framework. I believe that that's where we're going to get. And there's going to be some new money, I'd say $1 billion or so more dollars in the education system. I think it will fully comply with McCleary. The biggest sticking point is the water decision, the Hearst decision. We in the rural communities must have a solution to that. The Senate passed it on a strict party line vote, except Senator Tim Sheldon and Senator Dean Tako from Grays Harbor dissented, and they voted with the Republicans to get that water bill out. But it's important. We have to get a solution this time. So there's still big things out there. Water is pretty big to the rural communities, and it's important that we get it fixed, but it's also important that we do a good job with McCleary and get it done.
Before the end of this first special session, or maybe even another one? Likely?
I'm hoping so, but I think that the budget writers, and I'm getting tired of it, they want to wait till the June forecast, because then they know really how much money they have to play with. I know, and it does bother me. The good news is most of the legislature isn't there. It's called a rolling session. That does save a considerable amount of money.
Okay.
The negotiators are there, which is more than just a handful of people that we elect in our various four corner caucuses to go in and meet and get the talks done. So I think once we see some movement on water, we'll start seeing some more movement on the rest of the budget, and I think you're going to slowly start seeing those things happen. I'm very confident that we'll get it done. Boy, I hope that we do.
I sure hope we do, too. 35th District Representative Dan Griffey here this morning. Thanks for coming in, updating us on the bills, now laws, that you've been working hard on, and kind of an update there on the session. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Jeff. Nice seeing you.